right, let's go. What's going on? It's your boy Keep It Mike. Listen to 102.9 Tape Deck. Happy Friday, happy day, happy life, happy all that good stuff. Tonight I got a special guest here, man, and this young brother here, he been putting a lot of work to the 978 area, Lawrence, Massachusetts. I met this young brother a couple of years ago through this program that he has, this organization with another group of brothers, and he focused on men's mental health, especially coming from the brown and black community. It's a place, it's a safe zone, no judgment. Quick intro on this thing. I saw the flyer back in the days for a couple of weeks, and one of the brothers that's part of this man's organization. I kept looking at it and looking at it and looking at it for at least a month and a half, and then once I finally got a chance, I spoke to the young brother. Shout out to Quinn. I hit up Quinn and told him what was the location at, what was it about. He gave me a brief summary, and I got a chance to check it out. And when I tell you, it was the most spiritual, the most relaxing, no judgment free zone. You see a whole different brothers going through this thing called life. And, as a man, particularly a black and brown man, you go through situations in life that you feel as though the world doesn't care about you. And you got the world on your shoulders. You got a chip on your shoulders, whether it's, personal issues within relationship, family, racism, work, whatever the case would be, childhood trauma, generational curse. You could express yourself here and you could just be vulnerable, and you have brothers there that willing to lift you up, just let you know that day by day, regardless of the situation you're going through, it's going to get better. And this young brother here is part of this organization, and I'd like to say thank you for coming through the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I got Michael Bastien on this show. What's going on, brother?
It's going well, man. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. So, quick intro. Let's let my audience know about yourself, because I know who you are already. But come on, let's, I don't want to steal the show.
I mean, I guess it is about me. So, my name is Michael Bastien. I'm from Lawrence, Massachusetts. Born in Somerville, raised in Lawrence. Been there since I was 6 years old, actually. Like I tell everybody, I was a minority within the minority, and with that comes, bullying, things of that nature. So I really struggled to find my way in the streets of Lawrence, seeing as I'm not Hispanic. It's a predominantly Hispanic community. I'll fast forward a little bit up until 2 years and 5 months ago, kind of how this group started. I had a conversation with a relative of mine. He called me. He was going through a lot. And he was telling me about his situation, his story. And simultaneously, I was thinking about mine as well. So that's when the eureka moment came and the thought came up, which was, if we don't have a space to speak, why don't we create that for our community? And that's exactly how it started. It just started off from a conversation with a relative of mine.
So basically, you had a conversation with a relative of yours, and it's one of those things that you guys got together, or was it like a group, or was it like, it was like a building block kind of thing? They were like, okay, we're gonna try it. You guys just like I guess I want to say, how did it really start? You guys did something on Instagram and said, like, all right, let's see who's going to join this group. Or
Absolutely.
Was it really like an Instagram kind of thing?
Yeah. Oh. So here's how we went. So we had the conversation, right? A lot of people, when they do have ideas, they come to me because I'm really action-oriented.
You're the smart one from the squad. Yeah, you're the genius.
I wouldn't say genius.
If it was like Ninja Turtles, should be Donatello. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. But they come to me, for action. So what I told them, I said, hey, if we're going to do this, we got to do this right. I was about to swear there. I said,
we just had a conversation 15 minutes ago before the show, brother. Jeez Louise.
I said, if we're going to do this, we got to do this right. So I tapped into my contacts. I had a studio in Lawrence on Canal Street. And I said, one thing we have to do is put a video out, and the audience is going to tell us whether we should do this or not. So he came to the studio. We recorded the video. We kind of made like a promo video talking about the group and trying to see what the interest was like within the community. And we put it out on Instagram first, just like you said, Cuban, and it went viral on Instagram. Then we did Facebook, and went viral on Facebook. Then we did Twitter, then it went viral on Twitter. And then I tapped into my network within Lawrence. I had a guy who I've done shows with who, we made some money together in that regard. And I asked him, I said, hey, can we pilot our first circle at your place? And that first circle turned into 1 year and 5 months. before we got into our new location. And before I continue, I want to shout out Quinn Gunnell.
Yes, shout out to Quinn.
I want to shout out Quinn. I actually asked him to be a part of this circle because I saw the work he was doing prior.
Yeah.
So he's a big reason why we're moving in the direction, or we've moved in the direction that we are in now. I also want to shout out Edward Sedano, who's my brother.
Yeah.
All these guys are my brothers, by the way, but he's now the chair of the board. And I also want to shout out Onyx Batista, who's also part of the strategic team.
Yeah, shout out to Onyx, definitely.
Yeah.
And just for the hell of it, shout out to Melix, because he's like,
yeah.
he's like the extended one when no one's around here. Like, he's like the equivalent of like the substitute teacher, like you guys not around. And then he's here, we're forced to take him serious. No, like, let's just throw some paper at his face just to show that we don't take him serious. But
yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Melix, man.
Shout out to Felix Bonilla and shout out to Winston Lou. I just got to shout them all
Winston
out.
also,
So they were all part of the inception about a year after we started. So
yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I'm gonna make this about myself for a quick second because I want to go back. When I went there 2 years ago, I went through a real strange time because there were certain things that wasn't really going my way. I was going through a personal matter, and it was so weird because I was getting all these accolades. Like, I ended up getting like some award in Boston. I got picked to do this movie. I got back. I was back to doing the radio thing again, and I had all these things that I was accomplishing, but I was going through a personal dark situation that I don't want to get into, and I was going through so much that I was like so suppressing my feelings within those issues. And I would say that was your organization was the first place I was able to go to. And I never got a chance to tell the full story, but it was a good place to go to just like take a deep breath and like peel that little thing in your skin to be like, all right, I could go to this and talk and I won't get judged or criticized. It's just like it's I don't want to say like AA, but it's one of those things like my name is Cuban Mike. I'm going through all these things, but I am not happy right now. I am not happy with my life. And maybe in due time, a little by little, I'll tell you what's going on with me, but I am not happy. And it's so scary because I ended up watching this story. Are you familiar with Chris Lighty?
Yeah.
So I saw the story of Chris Lighty, and it was so bugged out because this guy was worth like millions of dollars, and he had so much success, but there was something with him that he was not happy, and he ended up taking his life. And later on through the storyline, come to find out like this dude was like in need of help. He was crying out for help. He was going through therapy, and it wasn't helping. It was so bad he was going to a secret psych ward, and he was going through all these demons and traumas that he ended up taking his life. But one of the things that come to find out, he was going through this deep depression, and like he didn't seek the proper help that he was looking for. He like suppressed his feelings and took it elsewhere. And I mean, it didn't go that deep for me, but I was not happy. And I will say, like, thank you for your organization because I was able to be I was able to be vulnerable, talk about what's going on. And then once I went through that dark stage, I talked to the proper people that I had to talk to make sure I could feel, way better than I was during that moment. So salutes and thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you for trusting us, man. Like, being vulnerable is not easy.
No.
Right? And that's what we talk about in the group.
Yes.
Like, finding a community of men who are open and willing to share their triumphs and tribulations is super rare.
Yeah.
So the fact that you took heed to it is super commendable. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and it's weird because I went backwards. Usually I'll go to my best friends and then my mother. And I went backwards. I went to a whole bunch of strangers and then I went to my mother and then my friends. And I know a good portion. I know a good portion of it from a personal level. So I'm like, if this thing, because I know we have certain things that we're supposed to keep behind the scenes. But I'm like, if this thing comes out and I find out y'all yap about my business, I'm coming back. It ain't gonna be pretty. But the cool about it, we have this level of trust. We got this level of secrecy. It's like a secret society. All we ask is trust.
Exactly.
So what I mean? It's a real cool safe zone. So salute to that, man.
Thank you.
What was one of the challenges you had to go through when you started this organization?
One of the challenges.
Yeah. One of the many.
One of the many. I'd say the first one was getting guys in there.
Yeah.
Honestly, like that was the toughest thing, right? We come from a Caribbean culture, a Caribbean background.
You ain't
right?
lying.
Getting black and brown men and even the youth to come into a space to share their deepest, darkest secrets or the things that they're going through.
Yeah.
It's super difficult. It's hard. So we had to continuously run these circles, and there was times where it was just me, Quinn, and Darwin. It was just us three, right? We put it out there. We said, hey, we're having a circle. Monday night, and it'll just be the people that are facilitating. We talked amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
But the key of everything was just staying consistent, right? The audience and the individuals who attend now saw that we were serious about it. We stayed consistent. So that's what influenced them to come in. And all we asked them, because at first it started off as a bi-weekly circle, and all we asked them was to come in and just listen, right? And one of our rules is that our guidelines is that you don't have to speak, and there's healing and listening as well.
Yeah.
So that's really what invited the guys in.
Yeah. From this little thing started in Lawrence. Has it I think I know the answer for this, but I think you could tell my audience. It had like word of mouth is everything. So outside of Lawrence, was it able to gain any more recognition outside of Lawrence?
Absolutely. So we did 2 circles in Lynn. Yeah, we traveled all the way to Lynn. There was an uptick in violence. So the Lynn community reached out to us and asked us to come in and do some healing work with them. We also talked to a couple of guys out there and gave them counsel in regards to starting their own circle. So I do plan on checking in with them fairly soon. But yeah, Lynn, I'd say. And then we have guys that this past Monday, we had a guy travel from Ipswich. So an hour out, 73 years old. We have a guy that continuously comes to the circle from Nashville, New Hampshire. Then we have another guy that comes from Salem, New Hampshire. So yes, where our foundation is based in Lawrence, but we have guys from all walks of life, everywhere.
Now I have to go back and piggyback on that because you mentioned Lynn. Funny story. I think I never told you the story, but I have a friend of mine that lives in Lynn. And I have a friend in Lynn, and I told her about the group. So we'll hang out with occasionally. I'm like, yo, I'm down with this group. And, we talk about this, that, and the third. And she's like, oh, that's what's up. Because she was doing her part for the community. And I kept telling her about this thing once a month, or once a week about this thing that I was going to. Because, there was a time I was going consistently. Then I stopped because of work. But I will be back. And it was like a whole, 8 months. And it's so funny because then, I think 8 months later, she's like, hey, this is group in Lawrence. You go check out because they talk about this men support group. And I think you should just try. I'm like, yeah, I've been telling you about this for the last 6 months, but I think there's a connection there because she's very big on in helping out the community in Lynn. So I'm going to assume either y'all met or there's a connection there because she mentioned you guys. And I'm like, hey, that's my team there.
Wait, was it Michelle La Poetica?
No. Oh, you know Michelle?
Yeah.
Hey, that's the homie. Shout out Michelle. Look at that.
Shout out Michelle La Poetica.
No. Well, I don't know if she I don't know if she worked within y'all. I'll tell you her name later on, but I don't know if she worked up. But I mean, long story short, to say she knew about you guys. She knew about you guys, and then it was that 6 degree of separation. Is that 6 degrees of separation? That's whatever. It was that thing. It was that connected the dots. She didn't know, even though I told her. But the dope thing about it, her not being from Lawrence, knew about you guys, and was like, you should join it, even though she didn't know that I joined. And,
super powerful.
And she knew about the work you guys were doing in Lynn.
Love that.
So that was what I was trying to say. I'm dragging the freaking story, but basically what I'm trying to say, they knew about you guys outside of Lynn. So the reason why I was like, hey, outside of Lawrence, does anybody know you guys? And they're like, yeah, Lynn.
Yeah, Lynn for sure.
But yeah, man. What has been the response you gotten out of all this thing? What has been your response? And were you able to take it in? Is this weird thing. You've been you're damn near a hero. I don't know if you know that. Almost a hero. Because you're saving lives.
Okay.
Not knowing you're saving lives.
I appreciate that. So what was the question?
No, I mean the response that you've gotten from the community.
Oh, it's incredible, right? I don't want to put this out there yet just because it's not finalized, but we're transitioning, even though we're keeping our Monday circles, but we're transitioning into helping the youth. So we've had a lot of youth come in, which is super important for us. And we talk about it in the group all the time. We wish we had something like this when we grew up. We wish we had something that, opened up a space for us as young kids to explore our emotional intelligence. But yeah, the community is taking heed to it. Based off of the organization, there's been awards given out. We actually hosted a Juneteenth festival, the first one in Lawrence, and the whole community popped out. Juneteenth Arts and Awareness Festival. So the arts is arts and awareness was mental health awareness, where we had mental health speakers come out to talk about, their struggles and their trials and tribulations as well. So the community's taking heed to it, and we have a whole bunch of community partners because of it.
That's told me. You kind of answer my question because I know when we go to these men's circles, usually like adults because there's adult men going through adults things. But I was gonna ask you, in regards to like the kids that are going through it, young boys that are going through it right
Yep.
now. I know it's been certain meetings that we had kids there that are teenagers, but which is dope. I'm here for it. But I figure that's something for us men that family men that are going through like adult situations, and I'll tell my part of the story. When I got into these groups, we as men, we are positive. We all these other stuff. I know we had situations where we want to talk about like females getting involved and adults, and I'm like, which is great. But I feel as though we need a safe space for men, adult men that are really going through it because there's no safe space for women. There are safe space for women, whether you're going through a domestic violence situation or sexual assault situation or just like discrimination, sexist work. They got something for y'all. They don't have anything for us to be like, let me hold you, brother. Let me just, talk to me. What's going on? So I'm glad we got something for the young boys too because I always I had the situation with my brother. It's like, it's like being a black, brown person, it's like once you leave that door, like this world is really against you and they don't really give a damn what's going on because it could be something within your workspace, cops, racial, you know what I mean? People within your team not liking you for whatever reason, not supporting you the way you should be supportive. That's why I always keep stressing about like, I'm hoping, within you and your camp and your tribe, you're getting the love and the support you're getting from your family and your team and your friends. And I'm glad you're getting that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I agree. And it surprised us that this didn't exist, right? So like even when I was talking to the relative of mine, which is Darwin Joseph, by the way. So my cousin, shout out to Darwin. But even when I was talking to him and like we were meditating on, okay, what kind of groups like this exist? And when we did our research, we couldn't find any within our community. So I agree, man. Like this is something that I feel like, again, super important for our community, and we wish this would have happened even sooner.
Yeah, I mean, what is better now than never, late than never. So
better late than never.
Yeah, better late than never, man. So I'm glad. I want to backtrack on something. You say you were from Somerville, right? Now, and you moved to Lawrence at 6?
6 years old, yeah.
Okay, so I guess this is the part I could kind of relate to it because I'm from Jersey, but I moved to Lawrence at an early age. But there was no Cubans around when I was. And there still ain't no damn Cubans around when I lived in Lawrence. But when I grew up, the part of Jersey that I was born at, it was a predominantly Cuban neighborhood. You had Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, but I mean, to find a Cuban person in Lawrence or in Massachusetts, period, is like damn near winning the lottery, one in a million. So, what was the culture shock that you got to that when you moved to Somerville to come into a place of predominantly Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, and you were forced to speak Spanish one way or another?
I think I was super young, so I was like a little naive. Didn't really notice much. Yeah. But I saw that people didn't look like me, right?
Wait, not gonna like being black or being Haitian? Which one? Because
I mean,
I'd
say, I mean, again, in our culture, we Haitians, you're light skinned, bro.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so if you were in my family, you'd be considered a lighter skinned person.
Oh, damn. So, all right, bet.
Yeah. So for
no wonder I'm sensitive.
So I know you're what? Like you're like Moreno in your culture.
Yeah.
But in our culture, you're light skinned. So like I came to Lawrence, and again, there was a disconnect because no one looked like me.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much, I was a little lost. I felt a little alone. But you're a kid, man. You acclimate the way you can, and your imagination runs wild. And then you walk into places like that a little naive, right? Because you're not that conscious. I'm only 6.
Mm-hmm. So, but how was it trying to like adapt to the Latin culture? Because you're forced one way or another. Because I got brothers, Black American friends of mine, and they went from being a predominantly black neighborhood to like watching Telemundo with their girlfriend, and they gotta adapt to watching whatever they watching to, listen to music they had to listen to.
Okay, as I got older, you're saying. So
yeah.
Not just when I was 6.
Now okay, as you got older.
Yeah, I mean, I acclimated pretty well. Yeah. I'd say that. I got to shout out to Lawrence because of Lawrence, I know how to dance every genre. Yeah. Bachata, merengue. I was the only black Haitian kid in quinces, so they used to ask me to be in the quinces with them. So I loved it, man. I ended up falling in love with the culture as time progressed. Yeah. I ended up understanding the individuals. All my friends were Hispanic, so it became my norm, right? Very different. Yeah. than when I started, and than when I came to Lawrence at first. So I ended up embracing the culture, loving it. There's still times where I go to a bodega and I still struggle to communicate with people, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you gotta love Lawrence for what it is.
Yeah, 100%. Another question too, because you said he had to do quinces with a whole bunch of girls. Like, doesn't it feel cool to be that guy to be like, look at it, he's like so multicultural. He could do it all.
Yeah.
He could do soca one way. He could cool switch and dance bachata the other way. He go back to American listen to hip hop. It's just dope. You can go like in 4 different or 3, 5 different ways and flip it.
Absolutely, and I use it to my advantage to this day. Every time, like if I'm in a dancing setting, I'll pull out a girl to dance, and the first thing they do, it happens every time. They'll look at me like this, and I'm like, "What? You think I can't dance?" And then it's always boom. Damn, you dance better than the Dominican. So then now it's like that's it instantly. Now we have a connection.
That's what's up.
So I learned to use that in every aspect of my life. Like when I go to places, like when if I travel overseas or I go to a Hispanic city outside of Lawrence, I know I'm cultured enough to acclimate, which is beautiful.
Bad.
And
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So yeah, man, we chopping up some good game here with Michael here. It's Michael and Michael. It's like Mike and Mike. I think we could be like a good, like, was it like a good cop buddy film after this thing? But yo, check it out, your boy, keep it Mike, listen to 102.9 Tape Deck. Got the homie Michael Bastien. What's going on, brother?
what's going on, brother?
It's been harmless, right? I haven't tortured you yet. You been cool?
I almost died 3 times on this show.
Gosh darn it.
No, it's honestly been seamless, man. Very, very comfortable.
Bad. That's what I try to do with my people on the show. Try to keep them as comfortable as possible and make sure they come back. You know what I mean? So hopefully this won't be the last time I see you up in this building.
I'll be here next week.
Bad. I'm looking for a co-host too, so who knows? We'll make something happen.
Hey, man, let's see.
Yeah, man. So, Brothers in Arms, man, I see you guys doing a lot for the community, man. I snooped through the Instagram, and I see y'all be giving us some checks. Some checks, some scholarships, some checks for these people, man. Can you tell my audience what these scholarships represent and what they about and who are you giving them to?
So, like I mentioned earlier, we had Lawrence's first Juneteenth Arts and Awareness Festival.
You brought black folks to Lawrence, kid.
Yes. I mean, it's super important for me because, again, I grew up in Lawrence and there's not a lot of black culture there. It's predominantly Hispanic.
You brought blackness.
We brought and we also did a flag raising. Juneteenth flag got raised in Lawrence.
Nice.
A day before the festival. So that was we're super proud of that. Shout out to Lisa Miller Gillespie, the co-organizer of the festival. Yeah. But one of the initiatives for the festival was, yes, we wanted to get sponsors. Yes, we wanted to have a great day full of events and liveliness. But we also wanted to give back. So I told Lisa, and we talked about it amongst ourselves. We said, if we raise enough money, we want to raise enough money, get enough sponsors to give a certain amount back to three local organizations who is either in their startup phase or may be struggling, just to give them that little kick. Mm-hmm. So we managed to give away a total of $2.2K at $750 per organization.
Nice.
So, yeah, we managed to raise enough money to give money back, and that's what it's about, right? When you're doing these community events, yeah, it's great to put on local talent, to show the creativity, but I think within our community, it's great to, spread the money within, right? Spread the money within our community, because we're buying Nike, we're buying Polo, we're buying Tommy Hilfiger.
Getting fresh to death for the wrong people for no reason.
We're not helping out our own people, right? And that's what we're about, right? Spreading the love.
Yeah.
Raising money.
Yeah, and it's terrible because I just bought Jordan like 2 weeks ago. Now I'm feeling judged. It's terrible. I'm looking fresh too, man. What a disrespect to my own station. Ugh. Yeah, man. But that's what's up, man. But yeah, and also, man, as we were talking behind the scenes, you're also like a man with many hats, man. So you also got a little entrepreneur spirit.
Absolutely.
So can you discuss about a little entrepreneur spirit you have there?
Yeah, let's do it. I started off about 5 years ago, I'd say.
Yeah.
I started off, and I don't think you know the story. I don't think anybody does, but I started off reselling sneakers.
Damn, look at I get the exclusive. You were pumping sneakers?
I started off reselling sneakers, and
so basically the stuff you were just talking crap about, you out here getting fresh. But then again, I was getting money because I was making y'all look fresh.
Hey man, I was flooding the streets with sneakers, man. Other people sold drugs, I sold sneakers.
Damn, there you go. There you go. Legal money, baby. Legal money.
It was legal money. I was going to entrepreneurial I was going to conventions, sneaker conventions, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And at the time, right, COVID kind of messed up everything in regards to the sneaker game. But at the time, selling sneakers was super lucrative, right? And every time I talk about this, the minimum I made at a convention was 3,000, right? That's in one day. And then the maximum, I made 12,000 in one day. So once you get, the right connections and resources and you put yourself out there in the right manner, it could be a lucrative business. So yeah, I started off reselling sneakers just because I had a passion for it. And I tell everybody, again, if I don't do anything that I do not have a passion for, because if that happens, I'm not gonna do it to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
So I started off with that, then I ended up losing the passion for sneakers. As Cuban Mike knows, I'm wearing loafers right now.
Yeah, man, we got grown over. All right. So I ain't gonna say who it was, but before you got to you came to the building, like I gotta call you in the building. So I'm like, yeah, you got a guest come to the show, and he's dressing pretty handsome right here. He's looking dressing kind of dapper. It was one of the ladies.
Okay.
So
you got to give me the name after the.
I'm not gonna do my homegirl like that. No. Yeah.
But yeah, so still to this day, I have over 50 pairs of sneakers in my crib, my house. It's just there sitting, collecting dust.
Yeah.
I might bring them out, but after I fell out of love with sneakers, I went into media. I was really thinking about, okay, how can I give Lawrence a platform to showcase their talents, right? We have so much talent in Lawrence, but we have nowhere to showcase it.
Yeah.
So what I went into was podcasting. I said, I'm going to create a podcast. It was 2019. So it was some ways ago.
Yeah.
Started a podcast and just, gave people a platform to showcase their talents. They went deep into their story, things of that nature. And then I started a media company out of that.
Okay. That's what's up, man.
After that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead. After that. No. Continue, man.
After that, that's when I still did that. I still did the media. It went from podcasting to B2B, right? Connecting people with people that social media management, website development, everything in regards to media that you could find, whether you need a photographer, a videographer. So I did B2B business plus my own podcast, which I fell in love with. I just don't have the time for it now because of the nonprofit. Mm-hmm. And then I literally fell into the nonprofit work, the men's healing work. And this honestly has my heart right now. So this is the venture. This is what I plan on doing for an infinite amount of time until the wheels fall off. And I don't see myself falling out of love with this because healing is a lifelong journey.
Bad. That's what's up, y'all. That's what's up. It's your boy, Keeping Mike. Listen, 102.9 Tape Deck. And we're going to hit y'all with a quick PSA. Y'all bear with me for at least 45 seconds.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Demetrius and I'm 11 years old. I've been Jesse's little brother for 2 years. A lot of boys my age need a big brother, but they aren't as lucky as me to have one. Did you know that there are hundreds of boys waiting for a big in eastern Massachusetts? Learn how you can make a difference and defend the potential of a child like me. To learn more, you can visit massbadebigs.org.
If you are struggling to afford internet service for your household, there is a new government program that may be able to help. It's called the Affordable Connectivity Program, and it provides up to a $30 monthly discount to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll at fcc.gov/ACP or call toll-free at 877-384-2575. That's 877-384-2575.
And we are back. Your boy, Keeping Mike. This is the 102.9 Tape Deck. Got the homie Mike on the building. What's going on, partner?
What's going on, brother?
Yeah,
Happy to be here.
Life is good. Life is good. Life is good. So check it, man. We was talking behind the scenes, and the older we get as men, particularly black men, we try to take care. We don't do a great job taking care of our health. Jesus, rest in peace to Fat Man Scoop, man. He recently just passed away on Saturday. Rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan. I just found out passed away yesterday. Mm-hmm. Us as people of color, we gotta do them check-ins to the doctors. But outside of your mental health, take care of your physical health, because the older we get, we just trying to live out here. And right now, I'm just hoping we make it past 60, not just 50, 60, y'all. From the stuff that I've learned from you, I've seen that you became vegan.
Absolutely.
How the hell that happened? How you gonna stop eating a pork chop, man? How you gonna stop eating the pork chops? How you gonna stop eating the chicken, man? How you gonna stop eating the steaks?
It's a super interesting story, right?
Ribs, son. Texas Roadhouse.
I'm Haitian, you're Dominican. It's like rice and beans.
Time
chicken.
out. There's a reason why they call me Cuban Mike.
Oh, Cuban. Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
shit, Jesus Christ. On my show, messing my country and stuff. Jesus, you're killing me here, kid.
It's all in the same though, right?
Yeah, it's all
in
the same. Go ahead.
When it comes to food.
Go ahead, Jamaican Michael.
So, long story short, every single year, I tell this story all the time, but every single year I do a New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
Right? I have a whiteboard in my office. I write something on the whiteboard. I don't look at it for 3 months. So this particular year, I wrote something on the whiteboard. I thought I wrote become a vegan. But what I really wrote was become a vegetarian. So 3 months late, I thought I wrote become a vegetarian, but what I wrote was become a vegan.
Yeah.
So 3 months later, I came back, and I came back to the whiteboard, and I was 3 months vegan. From there, I've been vegan for 4 years and 9 months now. So we're going on 5 years. So I actually became vegan by accident.
Okay.
It was more or less just pushing myself out my comfort zone. But then I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the energy, right? I became more lean. And, everybody in my family tried to stop me from going in that direction.
How dare they? How dare you trying to be healthy, kid? Come down with us. Drink this Kool-Aid and steak and grease and cholesterol. Come join me, son.
The first thing my mom said is, you're going to drop. She said it in Creole, obviously. But she's like, oh, I'm going to see you on the floor in like a week. Don't worry about it. So I was like, yeah, thank you for the support, Ma. But anyway... But yeah, man, I love it. I try to. It's not a cult or anything, but I try to convert everybody that I possibly can because I've seen what it's done for me. I've seen the energy it's given me. I've seen the vitality it's given me, and I just want that for everybody around me.
Yeah,
you need to treat your body's a temple, right? And that's how I look at it. And I'm very cautious with what I put within my body. When it comes to the meats, what I realized through research and things of that nature, you don't know how the animals are getting killed, right? Yeah. And everything is energy, man. So just imagine if the chicken's going through a slaughterhouse and it has anxiety, you're ingesting that energy. Yeah. And again, this isn't an ad for becoming vegan, but I just want to put that out there.
No, but I had to bring that as a topic because it's not usually that a lot of brothers are into the vegan. I think the only people that I know into the vegan is like the Locks, the rap group, the Locks. They don't eat meat. They're like really straight up veggie guys, which is funny because they talk about gangster stuff, but they don't eat meat, which is hilarious. But that's a conversation in itself. But it's funny because my daughter she became a vegan years ago. And she made my ex-wife and I go vegan. Like, my ex-wife was all in. I was still, you better cook me some chicken or I was going to be hell up in this house. But, as a commitment, as a New Year's resolution, I say, I'm going to do you this favor. I'm going to see if I can survive a month without, eating any meat. And I did it. And I remember, my second week, I went to my mother's house, and she looked at me like, you look like a damn mess. You look like you're going through it. You lost, if you're skinny. You just got skinnier. And she's like, is she even feeding you? And then I was like, no, I went vegan because, I made a New Year's resolution to the family. I'm vegan. You know what the first response was? I give you one more week before you just, crumble down. Wow. And I think about, yeah, I did 14 days. By the 21st, I was ready to kill everybody in that house. I'm like, I want some damn chicken. I want some chicken. I want some steaks. And I want that dead animal fried and cooked before something bad happens to everybody here in this building. I went through it, but I went through a nasty withdrawal because I was itching. I had a struggling beard for no apparent reason. I was just going things that I didn't have to go through. Meanwhile, there's food in the house. But I had to say this: when you first went through that, I know it's a lot of crazy discipline. Did you have to go through you went through withdrawals? I got to get me a burger, or you really did a cold turkey and was like, yo, I'm gonna do this and give myself the self-discipline and didn't look back.
So to be transparent, the first week was the only tough thing.
Yeah.
That first week, I was itching for chicken. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
But after that first week, it kind of kicked into gear. And yeah, it's just the discipline, man. I signed these contracts with myself, honestly, man. Yeah. So once I say I'm gonna do something, I pretty much stick to it. And that's how I've been for a pretty long time now. So that first week, though, killed it. And now to the point where I smell chicken at times and I get nauseous, man.
Really?
Yeah, so like this steak, chicken, like it makes me a little sick. So
Oh, you must hate going to your house and being around Dominicans and we be cooking that.
yeah, at times,
You must be sick of us. Yeah, man. I'm sorry, man, but I need to have a pork chop in my plate. So with that being said, I became a pork chop, and you're Muslim. So how's that working out?
being Muslim.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
because like the one thing about you, you talked about you being a Muslim, and I think it's just dope when people, they go. I would assume like your family was Christian. I mean, you're still Christian, and you went to another.
Absolutely.
So I mean, what was that transaction like?
Similar to the vegan one, right? The vegan thing.
Yeah.
So I was born Catholic, raised into a Catholic family, got baptized, things of that nature. But then, we went to the Christian religion, and I was forced to go to church every Sunday, man.
Ain't that the best?
It really made me dislike the religion. And
Yeah.
I know that's not the right direction to go in.
Yeah.
But because I was forced into that religion so much and forced to go to church so much, I didn't want to go to church at all.
Yeah.
So on my healing journey, I was looking for myself. I was looking for, like, who is Michael Bastien, right? And there was one piece of me that was missing. It was the spirituality piece. Like, the money's cool, everything else was cool, but in order to be a whole man for myself, I needed the spirituality. And I started reading the Quran, and I felt like I found myself through the Quran. And that's what I feel like religion and spirituality is. It's not necessarily about just learning about God, but it's about learning about yourself through the religion.
Yeah.
So that's how I stumbled upon the Quran. I went to the mosque. I had a friend who introduced me to everything. Her name is Armaya Daremi. So shout out to Armaya. And it's been ever since. It's been a year. It's been a year and a half. And I've just stuck with it ever since. And one of the things I love about the Muslim religion is just the discipline and the respect that like Islam and the individuals who practice it have for the religion.
Yeah.
So
Does it feel like I guess the word I'm looking for here is it like you feel like you're born again to an extent, but to like another world of religion instead of being like a Catholic, instead of being like a born again Christian, like a born again religion, but it's like more to like the Muslim department, if that makes sense.
it's a good question. No, I completely understand what you mean.
Yeah.
And the answer to that is yes, right? And it's not just about getting blessings, right? Because with blessings comes the other side as well. But
Yeah.
I feel like I entered into a new life, honestly. I've been more disciplined. Like, again, everything with me is pretty much discipline. And throughout Ramadan, I pray 3 to 5 times a day for like 30 days, right? And throughout my throughout my years of living, I can't even count how many times I really prayed when I was Christian, right? So, and just, I feel closer to God. I feel like I'm the embodiment of him through this religion. It's super different. It's super different. And it could be because I'm taking this religion more serious. That could be a possibility.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel whole.
Yeah, man. That's up. And I guess from the stories. I mean, I don't want to get to the personal stuff, but like from the stories that you've told us within the group that we're in, it's like it's like a progression. You know what I mean? From like, and I've seen it. Even though I've only met you for a couple of years, like from the stories you told me, and from to the man that you are right now, like I could see the progression. You know what I mean? It's like you. I know you're a young dude, but it's like you have the level of the maturity you have is like pretty much like I want to say like an elder statesman, but in a respectful kind of way. I'm not talking about like a dude in a cane or anything like that, but but like an elder statesman that you got people that are older than you like looking up to you for advice and direction. So that's got to feel good to an extent because it's like they're looking you for the age that you are. They're looking you for like some sort of leadership, and I do look at you as a leader.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And likewise.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
I think we're all leaders in our own right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think what it is though, like a big when it comes to like leadership and things of that nature, I think it's just the consistency, right? When someone sees that you're passionate about something, you stay consistent. It's easy to follow someone because you build the trust through that. So, and that's one thing I hone in on, which is the discipline. So thank you for that, man. That means a lot.
No problem, man. And yeah, man. So pretty much, what's next up for Michael, man?
What's next up for Michael? I mean, the real question is what's next up for Brothers in Arms, because I'm the walking embodiment of it. So Brothers in Arms, I can tell you guys. I didn't tell you guys the mission, and I'll say it now. Brothers in Arms, the mission is to provide a psychologically safe space to promote the development of healthy masculinity through restorative men's circles. So that's what we do. We sit in circle every Monday night. Excuse me. And we talk about everything from mother and fatherhood wounds to self-care, accountability, everything across the board. But what's next for us is 3 programs we got rolling out that is currently in development. Right now we have our Monday Circle, which is open to all ages. If you're under 18, all you need to do is come with an adult. We're creating a bi-weekly youth program within our space that is just for the youth, right? Strictly for the youth. And the reason that came about was because the youth, they want to get into this emotional intelligence, the emotional healing, but one of their complaints is that they don't have friends that are in the same sphere as them, in the same environment as them. So what I thought about was, okay, we'll create that space for you guys, and eventually what we want to do is create leaders in that realm as well. We want the youth to start leading these circles. Yeah. It's not about us. It's not about the adults. We'll supervise, right? But we want the youth to step into that role of leadership, because that's what's going to really make the difference. If they could lead their group of friends, imagine what they could do for their families. And then the third program, which is the most important, I guess I'll give the exclusive today.
Bet. Let's go. I love when I get the exclusive here. 102.9 tape.
I guess I'll give the exclusive. I love it. But so about 2 or 3 months ago, we got called in to go to Lawrence High, and me and Melix, and Quinn sits on their board. Me and Melix actually spoke on behalf of Brothers in Arms, and they're willing to take our program in come this fall.
Nice.
So Brothers in Arms Men's Support Circle will be in Lawrence High this October.
Let's go.
And it'll be real enrichment. So we'll be there twice a week, and we'll be there with the kids that are interested, right? That's the big thing that we focus on. Our program is not a reprimanded program to the point where you're forced to be here because you want to. Everybody who comes to Brothers in Arms Men's Support Circle, they come voluntarily, and that's what we pride ourselves on. We build a space where men want to come, not have to come. So we want to create that same space for the kids. We want the kids also build leaders within that community as well. And yeah, I'm super excited to get into the high school that I actually graduated from.
Yeah.
So
that's what's up, man. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, you got the exclusive, man.
I love it. I love it. And while I'm out here, man, I got to shout out my brother Junie, a.k.a. Will Smith. Junie, Junie.
Oh, Junie. Yeah. Shout out to Junie.
Yeah, because he saw me in one of your videos. So he's like, oh, that's my guy there. So I'm like, yeah, that's my guy too. So yeah, shout out to Junie just because.
Shout out to Junie, man. He actually, he was, what was the name of the program? At the YMCA, he was one of our leaders, our teen leaders. So, yeah, he brought us to colleges, and he's really doing good work. I think he moved out.
He's out. I'm not going to disclose his business, but he's out of here. I don't want to disclose his business like that, but he's somewhere that's not in Massachusetts. But that's my brother right there, man. Much love to him.
Yeah, shout out to him, man.
Shout out to him, man. But yeah, man. Michael, man. Once again, man, thank you for coming through, man.
Absolutely.
You have an open door in the tape deck. Anything that you need, to support the community, the hood, just give me a call. I'm on call away. If I'm not a call away, that's because I'm in the tape deck or I'm working. But because I'm mad I didn't get a chance to do the Juneteenth, man. I was stuck up. I think I was out of the state, but I saw the pictures, man. I saw a lot of beautiful things going on there. And, much respect and salutes, man. You do wonderful work for the community. Brothers in Arms, shout out to Quinn and them. And, keep doing the work that you're doing, man, because it's getting really noticed out there. I appreciate the work. I'm glad to be part of the team. And like I said, man, anything you need, man, one call away, I got you, bro.
Can I talk about that a little bit, the Juneteenth? We got some time?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Talk about it.
All right, cool. So for the Juneteenth Festival, Arts and Awareness Festival, the final count came out to 702 people on a rainy day.
Nice.
So I wanted just to put that out there. If you guys have a dream, you guys have a goal, no matter who tries to stop you, just do it, because you never know what the outcome may be. Stay motivated, stay focused, and stay disciplined. Who would have known that our first festival, Lawrence's first festival, Andover had a Juneteenth festival, Methuen had a Juneteenth festival, but Lawrence is right in the middle with the real culture, and we don't have anything.
Nothing. Yeah.
It was
nada.
It was pissing me off, man, being a black man from the community. So we had 702 people. It was a rainy day, and it was from 12 to 5. At 3 p.m. it started raining, and even through the rain, we had 100 people under the tent, still waiting and still looking at the performances, still participating. So next year, we're looking at 1,000+ people. We're going to have Cuban Mike in the building. You're going to have a microphone, right? You're going to be interviewing people?
Look, if I get to interview, 2 things. If I get in there, I got to interview people and I got to perform, man. I got
What are you performing?
I got to do some spoken words.
Spoken?
Man. I got to
Yes.
spit something, man. I'm back on the scene, man. Now it's like riding a bike again, man, because I haven't done it in years. So I've been going to these little
Absolutely.
outlets here in Boston. You know, shout out to Amanda Shea. Shout out to my
Okay.
homeboy Rob German, who pretty much, you know, put the battery in my back again to like go spit that.
Let's do
And let's
it.
get some notoriety, man. But yeah, definitely. Let me whatever you need on that department, I'll do it off the strength.
All right, cool. I mean, that's pretty much how.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect. So check it, yo. This is your boy Cuban Mike. You've been listening to the Tape Deck. You can catch me here every Friday from 6 to 7. Michael, man, thank you for coming through, man.
It's Michael Bastien. I'm out.
Yeah, man. We're gonna end it here with our Raga Fresh, man. One time. Let's go.